going on, people? If you're in here already, give me a minute. Do-do-do. Speaking of do-do, I do need to go heat up my coffee. So let me go do that real quick while you guys gather. Well, thumbnail. Let's choose a different thumbnail. Anybody watching the garbage bowl games tonight? Of course you are. You're college football fans. Always making me answer if this shit's for kids or not. Let me go heat up the coffee, and I'll get right back to all 85 million of you that are telling your friends now that BBD is live, and they should all jump in that live stream. Of course, it is Friday night before Christmas, so people are probably out getting stuff done. Be right back. Oh, the weather outside sucks, just like the Oregon Ducks. Since you got no place to go, go get a blow, get a blow, get a blowy. One more day, boys and girls, and I will break it down for everyone. Not sure how much time I've got tonight. Let me go get my phone. One watching. Boy, we're packing them in tonight. What's up, Davis the Joke? You gonna throw hands at me? Sweet! Better go get Zoe. I'm pretty adept at throwing hands. Used to be a Golden Glove boxer in another life. What's up, Matt? So, tomorrow night, at some point, I'm either going to make a video. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I talked briefly about it yesterday. Tomorrow is December the 21st, exactly 28 years to the day later that my mom had her accident. What's up, Michael? And I've never really told this to everybody in a video. I've talked about it here and there. But December 21st is always rough for me, and I talked a little bit about it last night. Why is Butch Jones smiling, Wilson? Sorry about your luck, Matt. What'd you get me? $100 super chat? Sweet. I missed that one. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a tragic event in my life, the loss of my mother 28 years ago. I was 24 when it happened. So if you guys want to tune in and get depressed tomorrow night, feel free to do so. It's not all I'm going to talk about, but I've had some people ask me anytime I mention, my mom dying, people just naturally are nosy and want to know. And you guys know me, I'm an open book, so I'm going to talk about it and probably cry, so be ready for that. Um, so I'm not going to talk about it right now. Let's talk about that tomorrow. Probably do a live stream, maybe a video. We'll see. Anybody see the first bowl game tonight? I saw literally like 30 seconds of it. I think Buffalo won. They were playing Charlotte. Yeah, exciting, exciting. And then tonight we got another one. Who the hell plays tonight? Somebody. And then tomorrow night, in my opinion, the first halfway decent bowl game, Appy State and UAB. Garbage bowl game by most people's standards, but, there's some interest there for me. Hot money making garbage. That's a fact. Yeah, Davis. True that. So it's nearly 7 o'clock on the last Friday before Christmas. What are you guys into? I would imagine most people that aren't working right now are probably out fighting the crowds. Fuck that. In a little town like Greenville, the biggest crowd you have to avoid here is Walmart. I try to avoid that place at all costs. Let me drop this link real quick. Let's see if we can get a few people in here. Share this if you don't mind. Also, like, comment, all that garbage that people will tell you, all the industry standards. Yeah, let's go ahead and Twitterize it. I've been saying for years now that I need to start tweeting more, but I just can't do it, man. I mean, there's just so much crap on the internet now, social media wise. I don't see how some of you guys do it. Jamestown, Tennessee. Where is that, Matt? Any good high school football in Jamestown? Oh, that's a fact. Okay, I get it, Wilson. Yeah. A tied Christmas bonus. Yeah, I hear you, General. Twitter is important. You still working the Twitterverse for VRS? If I could afford to pay you, I'd have you do that for me. I'm going to work this January. I'm going to work for this channel. After watching Uncle Lou last night, that's right, Hoss. After watching Uncle Lou work last night and seeing the generosity that people are showing to him, first of all, it made my heart proud to know that there's a shitload of really cool people that watch our stuff. Obviously, about 20,000 more that watch him. But yeah, the college football in the sports world is generous, and he would agree. And he had a stellar night last night, and he's earned it. I'm so happy for the dude. It just sucks that YouTube's going to take almost half of it. That'd be fine with me, General. Tweet away. We'll talk about it here in the next short little while. But I've noticed, this time last year is when live streaming was really starting to pick up steam. And obviously, Lou is one person, but the person that I'm speaking mainly of that I know personally that has just absolutely blown up the last year on here is my boy Bad Dog. Uh, Only 13 of you in here right now, but I just about guarantee you all 13 of you know who Bad Dog is. And he's put in a lot of work this last year too. And he's good at doing the play-by-play thing. He could do that. Well, hell, he may be doing it for a living on YouTube for all I know, but he could do that shit for a living. There's two guys, Uncle Lou and Bad Dog, that could do sports broadcasting for a living, and really, honestly, don't understand why they're not seeking jobs in that department. But hey, what's up, Aaron? But actually, I do know why. They can probably make more money here on YouTube. Good for Lane Kiffin, Wilson. We'll see how he does. Yeah, that's par for the course, General. Aaron, do you want this football? You need to holler at me. Drive up here this weekend and get it. I was going to put it up here, but we've all seen it. We know what it is. I don't have a PO, Matt. Honestly, though, uh, and I'm not asking or begging or whatever, but you asked the question, so I'll just tell you. The best way for people to donate to not just me, but anybody, is PayPal. I don't think, well, PayPal keeps a very small portion of it, and that's just because if you want it, you got to go to your bank and get it. But if you use PayPal, they don't keep any of it. What's up, Gate City? But you asked, Wilson, so I'll tell you right here in the link in the description is the PayPal.me link. And I don't know why everybody doesn't use that. Everybody uses PayPal, but not. This is what Uncle Lou told me. Not everybody has a PayPal account. So a lot of people, if they want to donate to your channel, they'll just go down here and click the little dollar sign in the chats and do it that way. It's easy, it's quick, bada bing, bada boom, they're done. But not everybody wants to go through whatever you have to go through on PayPal, and I get that. But it really sucks. Like all those people last night that were helping Uncle Lou, and it had to be at least $500 worth of super chats last night. All those people trying to help that man, and he won't get but half of it. That's jacked up. And I know you guys that do these super chats. Hey, Megan. I know you guys that do these super chats and stuff. You're not doing it to help YouTube, or else you wouldn't do it. I'm assuming. That's why I try to help out what little bit I can. $5 here and there to the people that have YouTube channels that support me. And you guys know me, I live on disability, so I'm lucky if I have 5 cents to spare. But if I've got it, I'm gonna try and help somebody if I can. $2 or $3, $5, whatever. It all adds up. And one man I would like to see start doing more YouTube would be Gate City Blue Devil. I think there's a guy that is just overflowing with kindness in his heart and deserves, how can I say this, other than having a beautiful, hopefully bride to be someday, having a beautiful young lady at his side, he deserves some good love from a bunch of good people, because Flint's one of the nicest, kindest people I've met in my life, and I put him right up there with the top 5, 10 people I've ever met in my life that are just gushing at the heart. You like that title, Lou? It didn't help. I don't know if you've been here very long, but I was just explaining to the people how happy I am for you last night for all the outpouring of love that people gave you. And it just sucks that all those people that donated all those hundreds of dollars want to give you the help, but instead half the shit goes to wherever it goes, YouTube, wherever. And I think it was you. You're welcome, Flint. I think it was you, Lou, that was telling me about, most people don't have PayPal and don't want to waste the time of setting up an account to donate and blah, 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 blah. And the only reason I'm even talking about this is because C. Wilson asked me, what did you ask? What did he ask? Thank you, Dennis. I just saw your comment about broadcasting. Anyway, Wilson asked something about instead of doing super chats, why couldn't people just send money to a PO? I guess that would work too. And a lot of YouTubers do have POs. I don't know. Lou. I don't know if you do that or not. A lot of the real big YouTubers, they'll have the PO boxes, and people just send these guys shit by the truckloads. Casey Neistat, if anybody's ever watched him, that dude used to do hour-long videos showing the crap that people would send him, and a lot of it, he said he would give it away to charity. Matt, that's a good question. I don't think so. Um, Kept getting pipe bombs. Are you serious? That's fucked up. How does a pipe bomb even get through? I'm hoping you're joking. Hmm. Um, Also, Lou, I was talking about you and Bad Dog earlier as two of my buddies on here that I know personally that should be doing this broadcasting thing for a living. Um, and then I kind of made the comment too that, well, maybe you're gonna make more money doing it here than you would for, say, a radio station or a TV station or somewhere. I could never work for a TV station in broadcasting because, like my uncle used to always say, I have a face for radio. Um, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Uncle Luke, when I saw that. You have to be at least somewhat intelligent, don't you, to make a pipe bomb, I think. And I can't believe we're talking about this. It's a good way to get flagged. But I'm not going to talk shit about anybody's inability to figure out the internet. I am the world's worst at figuring some of this stuff out. The simplest of things just frazzle me to no end. Of course, I get pissed off trying to piss sometimes. That comes with old age. Paul Feinbaum starting taking donations. What's the other bowl game tonight? Um, I mean, I know it's some garbage ass game, but who are the two teams playing? Hoss, by the way, did you get that Mexican food down? Man, don't tell me it's time to go already. No, okay. All right. Who you trying to get away from, Dennis? I don't think Zoe has ever seen a BBD video or been to a live stream. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. because if he had, he would have long since blocked me. I haven't seen that one, Lou. I guess I need to see that. It takes a damn week just to watch all your content. Between you and Camel Toes, man, I don't see how you guys get anything done at home. All right. Sorry, I'm texting one of my buddies back in North Carolina. Um, Another good dude. He may be in the comments. I'm not sure. What was the answer about the Champions of Life shirts? What's up, Joe? Good to see you, brother. I would love to have been there on that phone call, Uncle Lou, when it happened. What's up, Matt? So it's Friday night, random BBD live stream. Good to see you guys. Love you too, Mr. Wallace. In case you guys are wondering, Jay Wallace is like a literal lifelong friend of mine from North Carolina. Amazing dude with two amazing young girls, an amazing wife. And if you want to hear some really good original music, metal music, just go check out his YouTube channel. It's just like his name here, Wallace, Wallace. Jay Wallace. In fact, I tell you what, I'll drop the link in the chat. Hoss, I know you love good metal, so you need to go check out some of Joe's stuff. I've actually used quite a bit of it in some of my past videos. So there you go. What's up, Cheek? How you doing? I understood what you were talking about there too, Joe, when you said he's like your brother. I get it. There's a fella I don't understand, and none of you guys in here besides Jay Wallace will understand even remotely what I'm talking about. But my buddy Wallace's brother, another great lifelong friend of mine, has zero interest in technology. Although he says that, but I know he does watch a lot of YouTube. I know he watches a lot of YouTube, a lot of music. Another dude with amazing talents, and I'd be using it. I'd be using Joe. He needs to be. You need to be convincing him to put some of his skills on YouTube. Some of the work he's done. Yep, everything's on his phone, which that's understandable. 95% of people use their phone anyway to do everything. What's my favorite music app, Matt? Honestly, I don't think I even have one. I don't listen to a lot of music anymore, which will probably shock my buddy Joe. That's all we used to do when we were younger. Our whole life was about music. He just happened to carry it with him into his middle years. When I got to where I couldn't play music anymore, when my hands got all jacked up and, carpal tunnel syndrome, neuropathy, all that shit, about 10 years ago was the last time I picked up a bass. And it sucked too because at the time, Joe, I don't even know if you knew this, at the time when I was married, we had like an entire freaking music room like you, drums, bass, guitars, all that shit that my wife had inherited from her ex-dead husband. Yeah, you're right, Joe. I used to be the damn, not the master, but the damn guru of what's the word? Not shit. Obscure, never heard of metal music, and every bit of that shit I discovered by looking at album covers. I found that's the best way to find good metal. Go to an album store. Yeah, you young kids, an album store is actually a thing, used to be a thing. And just look at the covers on these albums. If I like the cover, I'd buy the album. And I'm glad to see vinyl making a bit of a return. Do you have a turntable, Joe? I've actually thought about getting a damn turntable. John's got a bunch of old records, and there's something about that old scratchy sound that I don't know why we would ever love to hear that shit. But we do. All right, Christine's got a question. Do you know five-star recruit linebacker Sabell Smalls? Washington head coach quit. Maybe he would be running. No, I do not. Chris, I don't know how often you come in here. Yeah, I remember that, Jay. Wallace. I don't follow recruiting like a lot of you guys do. Um, just don't have the interest in reading everything to keep up with it because there's so much of it to keep up with. Um, but yeah, I don't know who you're talking about, Chris. And Lou, get off of my damn long snapper. I'm gonna show up at your front door one day, Uncle Lou, with Zoe in hand and throw hands with you. Are you still in here, Hoss? I didn't happen to notice. We've got a couple of metalheads, couple of old school metalheads in here, Joe. Oh, Gate City Blue Devil. If he's still in here, he's good friends with some guys that are in a band called Navajo Witch. You might want to check them out, Joe. They're pretty badass. Yeah, I've got a bunch of old VHS tapes that I need to get put on something, Joe, before they get to where they won't work anymore. I got all of those VHS tapes from the lakes and Cedar Point, and well, not a lot from Cedar Point, but a lot of old stuff from back then, man, that I really need to get put on DVD or CD or something D, some kind of disc. Who's your team, Joe? Do you have a favorite college football team? Please don't tell me you've followed your dad's footsteps and like NC State. Please. Let me guess, Ohio State. By the way, I'm not going to say her name, tell the wife and kids I said hello, happy holidays, love and miss you guys, and all that good stuff. Um, you won't want to tune in tomorrow night, Joe. People have been asking me about my mom and how I lost her, and I'm going to do a stream about that tomorrow night, just to, instead of having to tell it 50 times, um, kind of share with everybody what happened with her 28 years ago, dude. 28 years ago. Oh, okay, Ohio State. Not a bad team to follow. But Buckeyes got a pretty good basketball team this year, apparently. I think they got a big showdown coming up with Kentucky soon. Yeah, we're about to get back to where we're worth following, Joe. You got to come over next year when you make one of your damn solo trips. If you don't make a stop to Greenville, I'm gonna kick your ass. I need to get you to one of my high school games that I do on Friday nights. We don't play DB anymore. Well, we did kick Sullivan Central's ass. We kick their ass every year. Yeah, what's crazy, Joe, is 28 years tomorrow is when it happened, and it happened on a Saturday. Um, so it's like 28 years to the day. accident Saturday before Christmas, Christmas on Wednesday, and then taking her off life support the Saturday after. What's up, Michael? This the cold sucks. Yeah, it does. That's what all my friends say, man. Her food and her kindness is what everybody misses. Sucks that my daughter never got to meet her. That's the worst part of it, Joe. What's up, Jetty Man? Let's see what I miss, Uncle Lou. Evidently, heard Georgia's got a pretty badass basketball player. Don't know if that's going to help you. Let's see. Wait a minute, Chris. What am I missing here? So apparently you went to Sullivan East. If you did, that trips me out. Maybe you guys already know this, Chris Dean and Jay Wallace. Um, so apparently you went to Sullivan East. So did Jay Wallace many, many years ago. I think that's where Joe went when he lived over in Northeast Tennessee. I know that's what Mike used to always say. I need to ask you something. I'll ask you on here, but we can talk about it later. The last time I talked to Don, he said there was a falling out between him and Joe Sr. I don't know. I couldn't get it out of him. I haven't talked to him in quite a while, personal reasons. And I'll tell you what she saw in him. Looking back on it now, that had to be the only thing because Sullivan Central, duh. Why am I thinking East? That's right, damn it. Um, After the failed marriage with my dad and her husband after that, I found out later she swore that she would never go through that kind of shit again. And that's how she ended up. Okay, Chris, Morristown East, my bad. Uh, that's how she ended up with him, and he was great to her. And hell, if it wasn't for Don, we wouldn't know each other. Yeah, Christine, you guys don't want none of us right now. Nobody wants to play the big green machine except Elizabeth, and we got something for them coming up next year. I don't want to see Tennessee and Ohio State play this year. I'm perfectly happy if we never play again. I'll take my 1-0 record against Ohio State and take that to the grave with me. Sure, we're talking all kinds of stuff, Jetty Man. I'm talking whatever anybody wants to talk about. Let me work on that damn number. I should know his number by heart, Joe, but I don't know anybody's. I don't even know my daughter's number by heart. How sad is that? I just know to push Kayla on my phone when I want to talk to her. I'd say I'm not the only one with that problem, though. Let's see. Pishki. Haven't talked to Eric in a while either. Of course, it's weird. We live 4.5, 5 hours apart, but you would think we lived 4.5, 5 days apart. when I'm over visiting in Raleigh, he'll text me like every 2 or 3 hours. But once I go back home, I guess out of sight, out of mind thing. I'd say we're all probably guilty of that, though. Here you go, Joe. I just texted you his number. Do you have your girls' numbers memorized, Joe? That's sad that I don't have my daughter's actual number memorized. Billy Cole, I'm going to fire you. You're welcome. Good deal. Yeah, I hope he's not still letting Miss Crackhead hang around. What's the big deal about long snappers? Damn it. Billy and Uncle Lou. Every team has to have them. Dark man, hurry up and call. Fuck around and be at work all night tonight. Back to what, Noah? The Gump seems to think no, vegans. Hey, I could do that, Davis. I've still got the old Knoxville News Sentinel front page from when we beat Ohio State back in '96. That was always dream matchup number one for me, and dream matchup number two was Tennessee versus West Virginia. And sadly, we got our asses kicked by them last year. I heard a stat earlier today on Sports Talk, and I can't remember the fourth team, and I was telling Lawtide about this on his stream. Um, yeah, I know you are, Billy. Uh, Kentucky, over the last 4 years, has won more football games than Texas, Michigan State, Nebraska, and there's one other team that Jimmy Himes mentioned, and I can't for the life of me remember who the hell it was. Texas, Nebraska, and Michigan State, and one other team. I thought it was Miami, but I looked at their record over the last 4 years, and I don't think it was them. And I'm talking about, you know, Power 5 tradition and history rich team, not just anybody. I'm sure they've won more games in the last 4 years than a lot of schools. Hell, maybe us. In fact, they probably have. That's pathetic. I'm going to have to look into that. I still can't believe Kentucky had a 10-win season last year. Yes, that was one of the teams, Spencer, according to I can only remember two of them, so I called Sports Talk and asked the call screener if he knew, and he couldn't remember all four of them, but he just knew the same two I did, Michigan State, Nebraska, and the other one he said was Texas, and there's one more. If he's here, he is, Noah, I think. The outlook vegans for 2020 is they will start the year 1-0, beginning January 2nd. Would I rather have Felipe Franks? Hell no. As a Florida fan, which of those two would I rather have? I guess that's a tough question. I mean, Noah Trask wasn't terrible. He beat us. Who else does Florida have at quarterback? And I guess if you guys haven't heard, the kid from Memphis, Wiseman, is that his name? That got suspended for 12 games is going to go ahead and I guess see what he can do in the NBA. So yeah, apparently he took money like 11,000 bucks. I don't know if it was him or his family or whatever. Took 11,000 bucks to transfer to or to move to Memphis or some shit. How did the NCAA do him wrong, Spencer? Somebody explain that to me. If he took money from Penny from a booster slash coach, that's a. I mean, that's clearly cheating. I mean, he should have been suspended. Penny should have been suspended. And Jay Billis's dumbass said, "What good did it do suspending him?" Well, who gives a shit what good it did? I'd say he didn't have a bit of trouble coming up with $11,000. That part I don't really get. I mean, is that a precedent? Is that the first time that's ever happened? I mean, yeah, I hear you, Davis. As bad as I need money, it'd take a lot more than $11,000 to get me to move to Memphis. 11,000 bucks, and I guarantee you it was probably more than that too. How many people in here watch Survivor? I had this discussion in Camel's chat last night on his live stream. So anyway, if anybody that watches Survivor knows that the prize is $1,000,000 if you win Survivor. And the last few years, Sia, the singer, has been giving money out of her own pocket to her favorite contestant. Well, this year, she gave money to three different contestants. She gave $100,000 to Elaine, who is I love that girl. She's the fat lesbian factory worker from Kentucky. She gave her $100,000. She gave the old woman, the old lifeguard, gave her $100,000. And she gave, I can't remember his name, but it was a black dude. She gave him 15,000. Now how jacked up is that? And it doesn't matter what color the dude is or any of that, but you just had to have seen Survivor this year to understand the significance. All right, man. Make sure you tell the wife and kids I said hello and love and miss them. Quiz next time I see you on that. Take care, brother, and have a great, great, great Christmas. I know you will. Expect a video about Christmas morning. They do nothing for you or to you. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. Oh, Loy Lane calls herself a busted can of biscuits. That's a great That's a great description. Busted can of biscuits. You too, brother. Tell Eric to send me a text. Yeah, trannies are some confused individuals, aren't they? Peace, love, and all that good stuff, my brother. The day of Christmas, Davis? Eh, it's possible. Depends on how bored, depressed, and unhappy I am that day. You know what, Noah? In a lot of ways, I am Scrooge this time of year. And you guys, if you watch my live stream tomorrow night, you will understand exactly why I hate the holiday season. I hate's a strong word. I don't hate the holidays. It's not Christmas's fault, you know, that what happened happened. Ellen DeGenerate, man or woman. She's a man trapped in a woman's body. We need to do that sometime too, huh? Hoss, you know what? As much as we hate it, and as much as we're not liking this holiday, we still got a lot to be thankful for. I try to remind myself that all the time. I mean, the old saying's true, it can always be worse. That's close, Dan. Pruitt's eyebrow is up and stuck. And you know, here's something else that I disagree with. You always hear money can't buy happiness. The fuck it can't. Any of you guys in here think that money couldn't buy you some happiness? I'm here to tell you right now, the fuck it can't. That some whoever came up with that saying was somebody that's always had money. Sadly, in this world, you have to have money to survive. It's just a fact of life. You have to have it. Um, you got to. Well, all right, unless you live in Alaska or some Indian slum somewhere, I guess you don't need money. Uh, sure, it can buy you fulfillment too, vegans. It can, money can fulfill your bank account. I hear you, Hoss. If I had 10 grand in the bank, I'd be a happy mofo. Shit. What y'all talking about? There's no reason that every human on this planet shouldn't be able to, you know, I'm not going to say everybody deserves, because not everybody deserves to have whatever they want and do whatever they want, because there are some genuinely jacked up people in this world. Some people deserve nothing but a razor lined boot up their ass. Um, but you know, there's really no reason anybody, unless they choose to be, should be poor and homeless in this world, especially in this country. I mean, like we've got Green Valley Developmental Center here in Greene County, a state ran, I'll just say it, state ran mental retardation hospital. I know that's not the politically correct term these days, but whatever, that closed down a few years ago here. It's a good sized campus. There's all kinds of buildings on that campus. All of those clients were moved out to other facilities and into individual housing and all that stuff. So you've got this campus of multiple buildings sitting there basically empty, not being used. I know it takes money to maintain something like that. I get it. So they can't just say, okay, homeless people, pack your shit and come move to Green Valley. Can't do that. I get it. But I'm not real sure where I'm going with that. But basically, there's no freaking reason we should have homeless people in this country unless they choose to be homeless. And a lot of them do. We had a guy here in Greenville, lived across the street, over the railroad tracks, and in the woods from this convenience store we have here. He was a military veteran, lived over there in those woods for years, and the city offered him an apartment. This is what I heard. I don't know this firsthand, but the city offered him an apartment. Um, he turned it down. Said he was happy living in the woods. Had a prosthetic leg. You'd see the dude every day walking across the street to get alcohol from the little store. I always heard he was getting a veteran's check, which if he's a veteran and he lost a limb serving, he certainly deserves it. Um, what the hell was I talking about? See where your mind goes when you get old. Anyway, he was happy, supposedly. Personally, can't see it. You guys have heard me say it, I've been homeless twice. Both times I had a car, I lived in my car, and it sucked. Both times were in the summer, too. I don't know whether I would rather have been homeless in the summer or winter. I know the summer sucks. I guess it would be worse in the winter. But the summer really sucked because as soon as the sun came up, there was no sleeping in your car. Nah, it's not the weed, Davis. I quit that shit years ago. If anything, it's one or two of the other things I did back then. And I don't know that I'm ready to share that. Yeah, I'll share that with people sometime. The stupidest thing I ever did back in my drug haze days was huffing. So you kids, drugs are bad. We all know this, but that one's really bad. Megan, I had help from a friend. Um, a friend of mine asked me to move to South Carolina with him. His dad had started up a salvage yard of sorts down there, and he asked me to come with him if I wanted to get back on my feet. So I went down there for 6 months. I went down there and lived with him in a little tiny, I guess technically I was still homeless. We lived in a little tiny 2-person RV, and I don't think RV really even qualifies. It was one of those old full-size vans that had basically, a camper on the back of it. There was enough room for 2 people to sleep with a little aisleway in the middle. There was a quote-unquote toilet in there and a little tiny refrigerator, and that was it. We lived there for 6 months in the back of this hotel that had a campground behind it. So we had a wash house there that we could use every day when we get off work. I actually enjoyed that, to be honest with you. I mean, there's just something about the freedom of living like that's really enjoyable. I didn't like sleeping this far from another big fat dude like myself that farts and snores all night. That part sucked. But I even screwed that up. Maybe we'll talk about that sometime too. I screwed that up. Almost killed his son and myself in a traffic accident. And that's basically when I decided, you know what? I think I've used up my 9 lives. It's time to go back to Greenville and get my shit together. Some of you guys might be shocked to hear some of the shit that I've put myself through. I don't like to say gone through, um, because it was my own fault. And that's one thing I own. All right, some people, they won't take ownership of their own screw ups. You know, I know a couple of people like this that everything is someone else's fault. You know, it was dad's fault or mom's fault or Uncle Fred's fault or all of my so-called friends' fault. No, no, I'm 100% responsible for all of my shortcomings. No, okay, hang on 1 second, or maybe 5 or 10 seconds. Got a little return picture to send to my buddy here. That's the abominable snowman. Abominable. Am I saying that right? The abominable, abominable, or abominable? Let's see. How do I turn it around? Got to do a quick pick. All right, guys. I'm gonna show you some. I'm gonna show you guys something on here that I've never done before ever. Uh, this will be my first one of these ever. This is my first ever. This may get me flagged down too. Hang on 1 second. My first ever internet. I guess technically it's not. First ever internet dick pic, and you guys get to see it first. You like chicken tenders, Davis? I like chicken tenders. I liked them a lot better, when I had teeth. Gannon said, no. Nah, you won't go to hell, Matt. I won't even go to hell for this. I may get any monetization taken down for this. But it's not real. It's not a real one, YouTube, so come on. When did he come on what, Matt? When did he come on YouTube or um, what? Be more specific, Matt. Because I don't know when he started YouTube. Good evening, Joe Mike Tyson Miller. When did he become relevant? Um, I guess relevant on YouTube. I'm just going to guess 3 years ago. Yeah, that's right, Megan. Exactly. You got it. Well, you guys saw my video earlier. If you did or didn't, I was rocking the Casey Clausen look. Um, let's see. See if it'll stay. That's a different kind of mohawk there, isn't it? It's educational, vegans. That's why it doesn't get taken down. I can't, Davis. I mean, I could grow a mullet, but I get too frustrated. My hair right now is longer than it's been in 5 or 10 years, maybe. When I remember when I let it grow out on top, I was gonna let it all grow out all over. A couple of times I've started doing that, but when it gets to a certain point, it's irritating as shit, and I can't stand it. And especially if you wear a cap, if you wear a hat like I do all the time, when your hair gets to that certain point with caps, it's just awful. And that's usually the stage when I end up cutting it. I've got some orange paint, hair paint I could use, Davis. Yeah, you guys ever see the video me and my buddy Eric did with this thing? Not this specific one, but it's about 9 years ago. I hadn't been on YouTube very long. I bought a pair of these from Spencer's, and we drove around town going to drive-throughs with this on. And the looks on these, it was always girls' faces, was hilarious. The first one was epic, though. The girl said, "Can I borrow that?" So you can imagine what was going through my head. That's good milk, Matt. I wouldn't know what breast milk tastes like. Mm. I think you should, Davis. I think I'm going to get a great big devil head tattooed over my face. I can't do that, though, Noah. I can't get a champion of life tattoo because I'm not a champion of life. I'm like a 37th place of life. They make shirts for that. 37th place out of 40. Breast milk of life tattoo. There you go. What have I got to do, folks? The 19 of you in here right now. What do I need to do to make this channel grow? Um, to draw more interest, because I've been thinking of all kinds of different ideas, things I might like to do, and I don't know if it would make the channel worse or better. You know, I've always, one of my little quote unquote slogans on here has been randomonium. I've always been random on here. Like, you might come on here and see me do one thing one day and the next day be something totally different. So, I mean, over the years, I've had all kinds of ideas of shit that I thought I might want to do on here. Take care, Jetty. If we don't see you again, have a Merry Christmas. Um, reaction videos. You know, a lot of people are doing those now. How the hell do these people get so popular so quick? It's like you'll see new people pop on here, and like 5 days later, they got 500,000 subscribers, and everybody watches their reactions. And how do they do that shit without getting flagged down and copyright? Yeah, I've heard that helps, Scott. Have a schedule. Yeah, Davis, people like rant videos for sure. Titties and ass, huh, Matt? Well, that would probably help in some ways, for sure. And believe me, nobody would love to see a nice set of titties and ass than me. It's been far too long. Simple to understand pictures that explain how to work StreamYard. I can. Hang on, angry black man. I'll draw you a simple picture of how to work StreamYard. There's one picture. I'll draw you two. Okay, picture number one. And again, angry black man asks, can someone, where's it at here? Let me get this exactly right. Can anyone draw some simple to understand pictures that explain how to work StreamYard? Here's picture number one. And keep in mind, the question is how to work StreamYard. This is simple picture number one. I have to wait till it shows up so I can see whether or not you can see it. That's number one. This is the one I would suggest that you go to, sir, angry black man, in order to get help learning how to use StreamYard. That is my help. I don't know if you could see that or not. Let me make it a little bit closer. Can someone read that to me? Good one! If you're new to the stream, hit the like button. Oh my gosh, I just noticed something. I'm not going to say it because it'll change. Yep. Well, actually, it's not called that anymore, Matt. What is First Tennessee Bank called now? First Horizon. That's true, Scott. I personally like Hillbilly myself. Inbred Hillbilly is better, but yeah, vegan. Clearly, Jeremy Pruitt's never going to be a guest on here. no one with half a brain at all that's important to the at the University of Tennessee that's ever seen a BBD video would come on here. But I am working on Harrison Bailey. We'll know more after the holidays. I don't know, vegans. But uh, you guys notice that EDP has over 500,000 subscribers now? Uncle Lou's closing in on, how many you got now, Uncle Lou? 30, maybe? Yeah, I know, vegans. Like old Catfish used to say, the answer's always no till you ask. I suck at interviews, for one thing. Now, what I would really like to do with some of these people, but they're definitely not going to do this, is uh, now wouldn't it be cool if I could get some of these Tennessee guys, players, coaches, whatever, Phil Fulmer, to sit down and just have a conversation? But that's not going to happen because none of them are going to do that, or they'd already be doing it. And even if they do, they're not going to be honest. That sounds about right, vegans. Sounds about right. Monday, Matt. Monday morning, I was on Lou's Monday morning show. That was fun, and we didn't talk any sports whatsoever. That's what was really fun about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love sports. I love talking sports. You know, primarily football, obviously, but I enjoy talking about life. But most of the people that are subscribed to me, they didn't subscribe to me to hear about that shit. I don't think. I mean, that's a great idea, vegans, but I mean, he's not going to talk to somebody like me. And Catfish will even tell you he wouldn't have talked to Catfish if Catfish didn't have Billy in his pocket. They did that. Him and Bob Kessling and all those people did it because they're friends with Billy. They know Billy. They love and respect Billy. And then that makes perfect sense. I mean, we don't all hate life, Davis. That would probably be a really popular YouTube channel. Life sucks. I hate life. That would probably be a really popular YouTube channel. You're right, Megan. I've done that before. Uh, what's the $1 million idea, Davis? No, Matt, I haven't. I've never called. I mean, anybody can call the university and ask. Hey, Philip Fulmer secretary, this is BBD on BBD TV. Click. Uh, can I leave a message for Coach Fulmer? Sure. Uh, hey, Fulmer, I got a dozen Krispy Kremes sitting right here on my desk. All right. If you'll call me up and give me 5 minutes and be very candid with me, they're all yours. Maybe that's what I need to do. Oh, okay. I see you, Davis. Let me see, just out of curiosity, I wonder if anybody actually has a Life Sucks channel. Well, believe it or not, there is a channel called Life Sucks. Uh, let's go look at the Life Sucks channel and see what they have to offer. Talking to college students about, I can't even pronounce that, Antinatal-ism. And let's draw every cradle is a grave, Sarah Perry. Why am somebody help me with this word. Well, I mean, you're not going to be able to pronounce it. But they use this word a lot. Antinatalism? Antinatalism. Antinatalism. I think I'm saying that right. Now let's find out just exactly what the hell that is. It's a philosophical position that assigns a negative value to birth. Antinatalists argue that people should abstain from procreation because it's normally bad. All right, we've all learned something tonight. Well, some of you may have already known that. I've learned something tonight. That's another good one, Matt. You miss every shot you don't take. Well, technically, that's not true. And that's true, vegans. Maybe, maybe I should do shit like that. Let me look into that. Recording phone call, but isn't that illegal to record a phone call? Is that illegal? I might need to check into that. People do it all the time, though. I may actually do that next week. Well, he's not going to be there next week. Actually, call his secretary, the athletic department, and say just exactly what I told you guys. Hey, this is BBD from BBD TV. I've got a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts sitting on my desk right now. If I can get an interview with Phil Fulmer, they're all his. And see what the answer is. See what result I get. Click. As long as one party knows. That's interesting. Surely the person recording it would know. Let's go back to the Life Sucks channel. Wow. One of their videos is called Gay is Good, God is Bad. Okay. I think I'll skip that one. Depression, the invisible cause. Now, the more probably what you would be interested to know is what kind of views is this person getting on the Life Sucks channel. Let's see. Talking to college students about antinatalism. 294 views from 1 day ago. The rest of these are from 3 months or longer ago. Let's draw every cradle is a grave. 517. Why am I an antinatalist? 2. 1.2 thousand. 1.1 thousand. 677. 518. 628. 339. So you see, either that guy's Life Sucks channel sucks, or it wasn't a good idea. All right, guys, I've got about 5-10 minutes left before I got to head out. The old roommate's getting off 3 hours early tonight. Uh, like I said, I will either post a video or a live stream tomorrow um, on the topic that I talked about at the top of this live stream. I know there's going to be a lot of people that could give a shit less about what happened 28 years ago with my mom. Probably most people could give a shit less, but I've had people ask, so I'm going to share it because that's me. You guys know me. I've shared just about every horrible thing that's ever happened. Well, not every, but got to take the bad with the good, I've always heard. And let's face it, most people, when they go to someone's video or channel or stream, they would much rather hear horrible shit than good shit. And that's a sad fact of life. Here, I'm going to highlight that, Billy. That's a good damn piece of advice. Billy says, it's your show, tell them to kiss your ass. So I'm going to start with anyone who questions my Tennessee Vols about giving a long snapper a scholarship can kiss my ass. Good advice, Billy. That would be boring, vegans, chronicling my life in a series, but I see what you're saying. I used to do, I'm sure somebody would keep up with it. There's people out there that are interested in boring, and my life would definitely be a boring story. That's a fact, Megan. That it probably would be a better idea to do a video. But I don't know. I'll I'll decide tomorrow, and I'll do one or the other. So just kind of look for that. I might put a post on my channel um, telling what time. But right now, I'm going to shoot for. I want to do it when there's going to be, a better chance of people actually watching it. But I also want to do it. I should have done it tonight, but tonight's not the anniversary date that it happened. I'd rather do it when my roommate's not here. Um, Not because it's none of his business. He knows he was there. We actually sadly lived together at that time in my life too. Um, so my mom was like a second mom to him anyway. So, he knows what happened. He's probably not trying to hear it again. And I've tried to get him to talk to somebody about losing his mom because it's a black eye on his life that he blames himself for a lot of shit too. Um, but some people just, don't they want to talk about stuff, but they want to talk about it to their close friends, or you know, try to get him to maybe see a therapist. Or but some people, automatically throw walls up to the idea of talking to a therapist. I personally don't know why. Um, anywhere a person can go to get some kind of help, whatever they're needing help with, is always a good idea, I think. Oh, that gives me an idea. Maybe I should go to all the banks in town. Hey, super chat me, bank. You guys have a good one. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. There's a remote chance I could be back on again later tonight. You never know. It depends on how bored I get. Um, but if not, I will see you guys tomorrow in either video or live. And thanks everyone that showed up. As always, love talking to you guys, man. There's a handful of you guys that are here every time I do a stream, and I appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you. Love y'all. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Vols. Screw y'all's team, unless y'all's team is the Vols. And we gone.